Evelyn Martin Johnson's life is a story of grit, determination, and the quiet strength that shapes history. Born in Buffalo, New York, she came of age in a world shadowed by war and divided by discrimination. But where others saw barriers, Evelyn saw a call to serve. As World War II raged on, she stepped into the ranks of those who dared to make a difference, finding purpose in military service and strength in the face of adversity. Her journey is more than a personal triumph. It is the story of a generation that refused to be silenced, a testament to the power of resilience in the fight for equality and recognition. Evelyn's early years were rooted in a family with a strong military background, as her father was a Navy veteran of World War I. Growing up in Buffalo, Evelyn was drawn to the idea of serving her country when World War II broke out. The war created a momentous shift in the fabric of American society, especially for women who were called to fill the gaps left by men who had gone to fight. In 1942, Evelyn, like many others, chose to volunteer for the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps, an organization designed to free up men for combat by enlisting women in non-combat roles. Her decision to join was driven by both a sense of duty and personal ambition. She had been working as a practical nurse, and upon encountering members of the WWII in her community, she was inspired by their professionalism and the opportunity to serve. At the time, the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps was still new, and the way its members carried themselves left a lasting impression on Evelyn. Her service began with a period of adjustment, like many recruits, as she faced the rigors of military life for the first time. Training was tough, and the structure of military discipline, especially the routine, took some getting used to. However, Evelyn's determination saw her through. She was particularly committed to excelling in her role, studying from sunrise to sunset to become a medical clerk. Her effort paid off, and she soon found herself thriving in her new environment. For Evelyn, military service represented both an escape and a challenge. An escape from what she perceived as a limited future in Buffalo, and a challenge that would push her to grow in unexpected ways. Through her military experience, she not only learned valuable skills, but also grew accustomed to being part of something larger than herself. Her time in the military, however, was not without its challenges. Racial discrimination was an unfortunate reality for many African Americans during this period, and Evelyn was no exception. While some places were relatively free of racial tension, others subjected her and fellow black servicewomen to humiliation and hardship. She recounts, in particular, the experience of being denied the right to travel on a train because of the color of her skin. Evelyn and 3 other women, all in uniform, were informed by a train conductor that they could not ride because they were black. Though deeply offended by this overt racism, Evelyn maintained her composure, relying on her military status to assert that they had every right to be on that train. A military officer and a military policeman were brought in to escort them, and in the end, they were seated in a segregated section of the train, physically separated from the white passengers by a piece of wrapping paper and some cord. This experience marked a painful reminder of the racial prejudice that still permeated American society, even within the military. And it is one that Evelyn carried with her throughout her life. The sense of humiliation and the injustice of it all left an indelible imprint on her, but she also made sure to bring attention to the incident through advocacy, contacting organizations like the NAACP and the Urban League. The racial discrimination Evelyn faced in the United States, however, was in sharp contrast to the more integrated environment she encountered in Europe, when the 688 Central Postal Directory Battalion, the unit to which she was assigned, deployed to England and France. The women were treated differently. Evelyn recalled the freedom they enjoyed, particularly in comparison to their experiences in the segregated United States. In England and France, the soldiers were not restricted by the same racial boundaries that marked life back home. They were free to go to any restaurant, dance hall, or public space without fear of discrimination. For Evelyn and her fellow servicewomen, this was a revelation. It opened their eyes to a different kind of world, one where they were not constantly reminded of their race in the ways they had been in the United States. It was in Europe that Evelyn realized the significance of freedom, not only the political freedom that soldiers were fighting for, but also the personal freedom to live without fear of discrimination. Despite the freedom they found in Europe, their work was far from easy. The 6888 was tasked with processing a staggering backlog of mail that had accumulated in the European theater, a mission that was critical to maintaining morale among American troops. The backlog had accumulated for over 2.5 years, and the sheer volume of mail was overwhelming. Evelyn recalls the size of the warehouses that held the unprocessed mail, likening it to the vast space of a convention center. Many of the women in the battalion were initially unsure that they could complete the task, but they succeeded, processing the mail and providing a vital service to the troops. It was a testament to their dedication and professionalism that they not only met, but exceeded expectations, showing their commitment to the war effort. However, the environment in Europe was not without its emotional toll. Evelyn spoke about the destruction she witnessed in England and France, particularly in cities like Birmingham and Rouen. The war had ravaged these places, leaving schools, churches, and entire neighborhoods in ruins. The sight of this destruction, coupled with the daily realities of war, made her long to return to the United States. Yet, she also spoke of the pride she felt in the work she was doing and the sense of accomplishment that came with it. She had a job to do, and despite the horrors of war, she found meaning in her contributions to the war effort. After returning to the United States in 1946, she worked in a number of different roles, including as a medical clerk, government employee, and dental hygienist. Eventually, she became a professional model, an opportunity that allowed her to express her creativity and beauty in ways that her earlier career had not. Her involvement with veterans organizations also continued, as she worked to ensure that other veterans received the support and benefits they deserved. Throughout her life, she was committed to serving others, just as she had served during her time in the military. She believed strongly in the importance of helping others and thought that her military service had instilled in her a sense of empathy and a drive to make a difference. Evelyn Johnson passed away in 2015 at the age of 95, leaving behind a legacy of resilience, service, and dignity. Her story is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the ways in which individuals can rise above adversity. She faced discrimination, destruction, and hardship, but through it all, she never lost sight of her purpose. Her time in the military shaped her in profound ways, teaching her the importance of empathy, tolerance, and perseverance. Evelyn's story is not just the story of one woman's service. It is the story of an entire generation of women who served their country with dignity and pride, despite the barriers they faced. If you want to learn more about the incredible story of the 6888, check out our full playlist. Just click the playlist link on this video or in the description below. You can also find more videos on our channel all about their mission and impact. And if you like this video and know someone in the military, please share it with them. Thank you for watching.